Have you ever wondered, hey, if start something new and I'm looking for help, like, can I actually get it? Right? Especially if you're starting real estate investing or you're doing real estate investing and you're looking for information online and you're looking for some guidance, a little bit more than surface level knowledge, general knowledge, like somebody that can really be next to you when you have questions or you run into something that's challenging or some type of stumbling block, right? If you've wondered about that, then this is what this video is about. What this video is we have a property tour. Okay, so in the property tour, that's the actual result of when, someone knowledges up, follows the system, and goes to the closing table. So in real estate investing, you got to get a deal and close on a deal in order to realize any type of profits. All right. And those of you that are looking for help or you want to see how someone's assisted, this is what I'm showing you inside of our system. Right. So we use property tours to show that, hey, somebody actually did get help. Someone did actually get their first deal. So this wholesale is going to be showing you how one of my team members was able to come alongside me and get her first deal done. All right. And you want to get your first deal done or your deals done because you come to real estate to get time freedom, right? Or you want to leave your job, your 9 to 5. You want to escape your 9 to 5. Or you want to get up off your feet because you're working too hard physically because you're breaking your back. And you're thinking about using real estate to help you get that. You want passive income where you're making income not working as hard or not having to go to work. Or maybe you just want to build legacy for your family. It's no secret that real estate is the way to wealth. You understand? For families. And, that's probably one of the reasons why you're here watching this. So if you've ever needed that guidance and support, we have a community with that. So I'll leave the link to our community in the description if you're looking for some guidance and support. And in the meantime, you can watch this video where you can see how someone else got their first deal done and how they were assisted. So in this wholesale, you're going to see the property itself. You're going to see the condition. You're going to see how it was found. We're going to show you how we did the numbers. Then there's going to be questions, right? There's going to be some questions that we ask the audience and also questions that the audience asks us where we answered them. All right, so maybe you might have your questions in there, or if you do have your own questions, you can always leave it in the comments, right? Leave it in the comments as well, right? And also for your convenience, there's timestamps in this video where you can go to certain parts that you actually want, and let's get into it.
Hey, we're excited about this one. We have one of our very own showcasing one of his deals. Jay, I know you're super excited. Tell us how excited you are.
That's funny. That's a good one. Welcome in everybody. Great Saturday afternoon here in New York. I've known Joe for years. Fatmata I met in the community, and this is actually her first property that she got done. It's her first deal, right? So you're gonna hear from a guy who's been experienced. I met Joe. He's been doing real estate since probably like 04, but I knew Joe like way before then. And to hear from him, is a more seasoned investor than connecting with this is what we do in our community, connecting with somebody who's just getting started. I love it. And that's what we kind of showcase within this community. So you're gonna hear from her side.
Anyway, welcome everybody. You can do it too. I'm just joking. Welcome on. Welcome. Let's give a hand for our guy, Joey Styles and Fatmata. What's going on?
So welcome. It's been such a journey and a continuous journey, I'm sure. So I'm Famata. I'm originally actually from Cleveland, was raised there and moved 17, almost 18 years ago to Columbus, Ohio, which is about 2 hours away. So this particular deal, if you don't know, is in Cleveland. So it's very special to me. But I joined the real estate community last year through someone who I met on Facebook who was in our community, Resale, and was just looking for another avenue. I had always knew about real estate, watching HGTV and all the fancy stuff on TV and about real estate, but I knew it was more to it. I would go on YouTube and search things, and actually, wholesaling was one of those ones that truly intrigued me. And believe it or not, there's so much to this story because when I looked at wholesaling probably 13, 14 years ago, was taking notes and following different people and just was trying to connect the pieces. And some of those pieces never connected for me. And I had reached out to someone who was close to me that was kind of in that industry. And when discussing that with them, they really just had nothing but negative to say about wholesaling and real estate in general. You know, it's not all of that, it's not this. So I kind of was deterred from it. But upon meeting Reese about, I would say probably 2 years ago, and him introducing me to this community, it was on and popping. So here I am, and I get a chance to confidently say that I have some education and mentorship and an excellent community that has allowed me to be able to step into this world and do my first deal in wholesaling. So that's me.
All right. So for me, I got into real estate because I was a college dropout and school wasn't my thing. So one of the things I saw was real estate, so I latched onto it. All right. But the reason why I'm here is because I had one problem. And the problem that I had was uh I was in a deal, like one of my first wholesales. I didn't know it was a wholesale back then, right? I was in a deal and people change when you got to get paid. So what happened was the investor was supposed to pay me, okay? So I was supposed to get paid. I went through the deal closed and I'm supposed to get paid. And then he looked at me and was just like, I don't have to pay you, right? And I was like, what you mean you don't have to pay me? He was like, listen, don't relax, take it easy. I'm gonna pay you. But in reality, what would you do? You have no binding anything. There's no contract, there's no nothing for me to pay you. And that feeling right there was like, damn, you know what? I don't know this game. Like I don't know it. So after that, the way I felt then was the reason why I searched for some people or community, not just one person. I was looking for some people that was really going to teach me. I needed a system that was going to show me how to not be that naive, how to not be that trusting to a person because I probably would do something and probably wouldn't get paid. So that's when I realized that knowledge was important. And something or some person. I was just looking for something that was designed to show me what to do so that I never hear that again. Right. And that's how I got here. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here because I had to get my knowledge up. And so I've been happy. And here we have an example of one of the deals.
For sharing your story, man. I hate when you hear that. When you always say that, I didn't have to pay you. That's the crazy part. I hate when
Yo, bro, it was so crazy. And I made it soft because the way that he said it, it was real. Because I
I'm
was
just I can
chasing him
imagine.
all week. Like, the deal closed, and I'm like, yo, where's my, what's up? In the beginning, he was all like, yo, let's get this deal done. Let's get this deal done. I was so naive. It was my first deal. I was, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a real crazy feeling when he told me that, but that was the lesson, like to knowledge up and know more about these transactions and know more about how to deal with people. And that's one of the reasons why I came into this community was to be around people that was just gonna help me understand, you know what I'm saying? Not just get paid, but more to understand what the hell is going on around me.
Thank you for sharing that. Hope you guys taking notes. And again, you can follow Joe and Fatmata on their journeys. These are real people, real investors on IG. Follow both of them. And before I get into the deal, let's get into a little disclaimer. The following examples were made when applying real estate strategies and education, support, and money and experiences. Again, we're not saying you're going to have the same result. Results may vary. Each property investment result is unique as the real estate itself. And with that being said, cousin Joey, you want to take over and tell us about this property?
I found this property, and the way that I found this property is a way that anybody can find this property. One of the things I realized from just my early days of I used to cut hair, being a barber, that you just tell everybody what you're doing. And I told everyone that knows me that, hey, I do real estate and I'm looking to learn and I'm looking to purchase or whatever. Just call me. Just call me if you hear some real estate stuff. Try to remember me, please. I'm just doing it. And so a friend of mine connected me with another friend of mine. Wait, a friend of mine connected me with their friend, and they were having an issue with this property right here. So what you're seeing on the left side is that actual building. She was trying to sell it for over a year with a realtor, and it couldn't move. It would not move. So when I spoke to her, she was like, I'm so tired of this realtor, and whatever you could do, if you could help me move this, that'd be great. And I said, perfect, let's do it. All right. So this is the property here on the left, the distressed one. And it's right next to this building right here, which looks new. So when I first saw this picture, I said, oh, okay, so that there's renovation going on. So that's good. What happens is it has stores on the bottom right here that you can see, and then these are two apartments at the top. All right, so it's a commercial property and it has all that space. That's called a mixed use. Right, so pretty big building. I was still wondering, what's one of the reasons why it didn't sell. So that's a closer look at the building there. Right here is the entrance to the stores, and these are the entrance to the apartments right there. All right, so I was taking a look at that, and then this is inside the store. This is so condition wise. This is what it looked like inside the store. You see the boards, and this used to be a grocery store. Right back then, it used to be a grocery store. As you can see, right here, they had the counter. Like when you buying your chips, this was the counter. You could get like some ice cream in this little part right here. Get your little ice cream bars in here. They had the refrigerator before you leave out. And this is where all the sodas were. So all of these things were inside the property, right? When I was, looking at it through these pictures. And there's another picture of the refrigerators. So these refrigerators, she was worried when she was like, look, if you're going to show this property in the area, she was concerned that people would like break in and take these, because these refrigerators, to her, to the seller, it was real valuable. So this is still the first floor. Now we going upstairs. So upstairs, this is the condition right here. Upstairs, you can see the floor is a little crazy, and the windows were still here, but you could walk in this little area right here, which is all right. And you can see a little more. Like these are part of the apartments that were upstairs. And right here is the kitchen. You can see, look, the condition was pretty bad. I can't even show you the bathroom because there is none upstairs, right? But you can tell from this fridge right here that this was a kitchen. And you see you couldn't even walk over here, right? From what I was told, because I'm not the one taking these pictures though, by the way, right? So this area was really bad. So you couldn't really walk there. So you're looking at how bad the condition is. It's like, who's really gonna buy this? Who's gonna take this? Because it was the condition wasn't that great. Part of it was okay, and part of it was falling apart, right? So if you go to the basement, this is a furnace, which is pretty good in my perspective. I felt like, okay, if there's a furnace, then a person is, there's going to be heat. You can have some heat in the building. So that's one furnace here. And then also over here, these things right here, the fact that there was gas meters on the building, this one, and these meters here, to show, even though it's in bad condition, at least from what I know at least, that if a person that takes over this building didn't have to worry about getting the gas company to the building or getting the electric company to the building. And one last thing that I felt was important was right here. As you can see, if you look at the aerial view, right, you can see the neighborhood. So there's the street, and it's a corner property. And this building here is in good condition. And this building here is that new building next door, which is in also good condition. Now, the fact that it was a corner property, I was thinking marketing, like, hey, this would be cool to show someone that you'll have a corner building. And I thought there was some value there, especially because this building was brand new. And then this building was occupied and there was some people. So you basically get the last building on the block, and now you could join the party. So that's one of the things that I was thinking in terms of the property itself. Now, what I want to say about the walkthrough, right? I never went to the property. I'm in New York. So we got Fatmata right here. And the thing is, and this was what's so cool about this deal was initially I had a person to help, right? But there was some problems with their scheduling and with everything that they were doing in terms of being over there, and they basically tapped out. So then I was scrambling, and Fatmata was in the community, and she was like, "Oh, I could go to the property. I could go check it out and walk around for you." So these videos coming up was her walking through because I never went to Cleveland.
So what you guys see again is the front of the building, and what you can't see across from this building, um, on the side of this building. So here, across on the other side, is actually a eatery spot, like some type of barbecue spot, and then that's also a multi-use building that has apartments, multiple apartments. So as I was going out here to this building for people to view this building, a lot of the tenants in the buildings on the side of this particular building, across the street, are looking for a store, looking for, because the closest store was probably, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 miles away. So they wanted something right there. This is the back of the building. And so you can go to the apartments from the back of the building here. And then, so yeah, so this would be considered their porches in the back. And then again, this would be the storefront area where you would purchase and the cool thing about this bottom part is that it had two sides. And I'm not sure if you guys, if this video shows the other side, but this is kind of the grocery store. Over here, if you walk through, there is a retail space. So when it's multi-use, it's multi-use. So that retail space can be used for, like, I don't know, clothing, or someone who is maybe trying to sell some goods or different things like that. This is another area here that could be used for various things as well. So this is a pretty huge space down here. And the flooring and everything here, this was pretty structured, so there was not a whole lot of damage. I was able to walk through here without any issues. Going down here into that's the retail space over here that I was talking about. There's also a bathroom over there in that area as well. So, and then there's that entrance that Joe was showing at the front. So this has its own entrance where you can go into that retail space. And that's where the bathroom was. So you guys can see at the top how distressed this building really is. There was some water coming in from the roof issues and different things of that nature. And then he passed it, but there's a basement as well, and that's the basement part that Joe showed in the still shots. And then here is walking up to the apartments. This is going to be the first, we're probably going to, so this is the hallway leading into the first apartment. And that would be what you would consider, I guess, like your dining room area. And then that front part is your living room area. It's pretty spacious there. And then walking down, so there's a bedroom and I believe two bedrooms on each in each unit. So that's one of the bedrooms. And then that bedroom where the floor was totally out, I couldn't even go in there. But that's another bedroom here. And
That's that room,
then,
right? You couldn't walk in, right?
right, exactly. So it's coming out, and then there's another unit, and this is the other unit. So it's pretty much the same setup, living room, dining room, two bedrooms, and then a bath and a kitchen. So we can see the kitchen here. That's another bedroom. That's part of the kitchen there.
Ooh,
Yep,
wow.
and that's it.
It looks so beautiful. I mean, I just want to move
Oh,
in.
beautiful.
I'm moving right now. All right.
Let me get in here real quick, all right? If you're looking for some guidance and some help for yourself, right? Way more than surface level information that you can just Google or get from anywhere. Maybe basically somebody to hold your hand in the process that you're going through, or some specific help for a specific situation. Either leave your question in the comments, or I'm gonna leave the link to our community where you can be part of trainings like this live, and you can really dive deep and get your questions answered and figure this out so you can get yourself to the closing table. I'm gonna leave the link to the community in the description. All right, just tap in, and our next coaching call is this Wednesday. All right, let's get back to the training.
Live out the knowledge. Were you just born knowing this, Joe and Fatmata? You guys just woke up and said, I got it?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
So one of the hugest blessings for me was to be able to come into this community and gain access to the educational platform that we work off of. And so negotiations was huge in this for me. And let me tell you, I was uncomfortable. I was uncomfortable. But when I tell you guys, the education piece of it gave me the confidence, and this community and mentorship gave me the support. It leveraged me in ways that I couldn't have been leveraged before if I didn't have those two pieces. So negotiations was really huge, and real estate foundations, understanding real estate, and what goes into that. So and what to look for.
And the negotiations for real, because this property, in terms of negotiation, I had to have the seller stay with me because we lost a buyer. I think we lost probably two buyers. So I had to negotiate that contract, and this helped me out with that. Oh, that's a little arrow. It's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
And then the actual structure of it, right? Being able to take this class helped me with having a conversation to translate the real estate part to a regular person. Like, hey, this is this is how it's going to be structured. So taking the wholesaling class let me know, how to have the contract written right. So there's no mix-ups at the title company, right? And there's no mix-ups when it comes to the legal part of doing the transaction. So the wholesaling helped me, be able to structure. And this class also allowed me to secure the bread. You know what I'm saying? It showed me how to
Right.
secure the money so that that situation that happened to me in the beginning where an investor is like, listen, I ain't got to pay you. Right? That because I was able to take this class, it never happened again. You know what I'm saying? So I never had to feel confused or feel like I didn't know something, right? So this is what helped me secure myself by learning, being part of this system and taking that class right here. So I secured everything. No matter how long it took, I was able to secure it with the wholesale. Good question, Anna. We got the Q&A. Hold on, we got the Q&A covered. We got the first question that I'm seeing in the board. We got the Q&A coming for that. So, y'all keep putting y'all questions. I'm gonna answer all of that. Right? We all gonna answer all that. What do you think the repair cost was gonna be for that whole property? What do y'all think? Just put a number in the chat. Like, what do you think it was gonna cost to do the repairs in that property? What, 10,000, 20,000?
So it's a mix. Like skip down. So mixed use.
Mixed use. Go ahead. Jonathan put it in. So this is the part, y'all. For you here, get on the board and start getting an idea of, because if you're gonna wholesale, you got to be able to estimate repairs. And I had from those pictures in that video, right? We had to estimate repairs in order to sell it to the next person. So there we go. They coming in there.
All right, they coming in.
They coming in.
45K. Kim Todd says 150K. Makala says, Michaela, maybe, I'm sorry if I pronounced that incorrectly, 80K. Eddie says, how many square foot is the house? So this isn't a house. This is a mixed-use commercial building. So the bottom is storefronts and up top is 2 apartment buildings. So what is that? That's a good question.
Square foot, that's a good question. The square footage, it was listed at like 3,000 square feet.
Yeah, 3,000 square feet. Yeah.
Anna says 80. Anna's back. Oh, man. Leslie says 90K. Joshua says 100K. Valerie says 125K. Jonathan says 45 to 70, including the labor.
Wow.
So 45 to 70 include. So give us a number. Come on, Jonathan.
Right.
That's a big spread. 45 to 70. Where we at? Eddie says 65K per unit. All right.
Well, 130 there. I guess sounds like 130. No, is you considering the storefront a unit?
Yeah,
too?
what do you right, Eddie? So you're considering the first floor 1 unit?
Yeah.
Like, what do you help us out there? So what's your number? Are you saying more like 195? Or help us out with your number? Kenneth says 50 to 75. You're cheating too. That's too big of a spread. But think about it, right? That's a 25K spread there. So if you get on your investor hat on, it's very challenging to consider. Because think about it. If let's say I'm gonna do the fix and flip, and you tell me the repairs is 50 to 75K, well, that 25K can eat away my profit. So you gotta really lock in. This stuff right here will help y'all out, man. And or would you call a contractor to have a contractor to go give you an estimate, right? That's another thing. I want people to think, what would y'all do? Can you just look at pictures and figure out and video to figure out that? Or would you be like, well, no, I'm just gonna go call contractors and have them come give me a bid? What would y'all do? These are things I want people to start thinking about. Eddie said, let's go with 95K-ish, all right? Then get quotes from Eddie. Okay. So you would pay a contractor every time to go look at the property? How would that work?
Ooh, that's another one. They're coming out for free on the free?
You think the contractor's gonna come give you a quote for free? What's up, Kev? Definitely call a few contractors. So what would that look like? You're gonna pay the contractors to go give you a bid?
You want to hear, oh, this is too far. For how much?
But I don't really know what the lowest is, but it looks like the highest was
150. Right? So Kep is paying people for estimates. Nice. Kep got bread.
That's cool. Cool. And so you would do that even though you're wholesaling, you're not the one doing the work, even though you're wholesaling, you would pay a contractor to go? Even though you're not the one doing it, you plan on wholesaling, you would still pay a contractor to go give you estimates?
Wait, I thought there's no money in wholesaling. I thought I don't need money down for wholesaling. That's what I thought. That's why I got into this. What are you saying, Jason?
Yeah, see, that's what I want people to start thinking. Like, these are things. That's why I went on my little rant in the beginning, because there's things involved that most people don't see. Right now, he said, no, now if I'm wholesaling, well, remember, this is a wholesale deal, right? So, you know what I mean? There's a whole
back to them, Cap.
You do. Exactly. That's why I want you to start thinking. This is a wholesale deal. So you got to put yourself in the shoes of you being the wholesaler, what Joe and Fatmata had to do.
You're out of state. You don't know the area, and you got to figure it out.
All right. Next question. So how much do you think that Joe and Fatmata got this property under contract with the seller for? So how much would y'all pay for this property to wholesale it? Maybe that's a better question. what was the most you would pay a seller, knowing that your plan is to wholesale it? You're gonna move it off to somebody else, right? How much would you put this property under contract for? Put your investor hats on, people. Look, we got them stumped now. They thinking like, dang, I didn't know is this much involved. No, we only got one number so far, 35K.
Oh, they tapped out. They tapped out.
Depends on what. Cap, come on off of mute. What's
You
it
can't come up.
depend
You
on?
can't come up. Take the mute off if you can.
So Anna said she put under contract for 100 grand. So make sure we understand this. You understand my question, Anna. I'm asking you, right? You plan a wholesale on this property. How much would you put it under contract with the seller for? Like, how much would you be willing to put on the contract for in that condition?
Keep in mind, that's got to include your profit and the person buying his profit. You got to put all that in there.
So Chanel says 32K. Valerie says 45K.
You got them stumped, bro.
Definitely got them stumped.
Got a few of them stumped.
Okay, now they're coming out. So my next question, what would be your target customer? So would you be moving this to a person who's going to fix and flip it, or would you be wholesaling it to a person who's going to keep it for a rental? Because that analysis that what Kep is saying is a lot deeper. Because remember, this isn't a house; it's a mixed use, right? So what you're talking about, ARV, that's really on a house. If you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, move it to an end buyer that's gonna keep it. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little deeper in this situation.
Okay, rental. She said rental. Okay, storefront. An investor for a fix and flip. Okay.
So those are two totally different analyses. If you're moving it to somebody who's going to keep it as a rental for the cash flow, as opposed to a fix and flipper.
Yes, it is.
So it's okay. Josh said I looking for someone who will rent it out. Okay, cool. So Kim Todd said she looked for a fix and flipper. Now, in my opinion, I think that would be a little more challenging, as opposed to moving it to somebody who want to rent it out. I do the analysis of both. Remember, you should always have more than one exit strategy. Big Kep, dropping the knowledge.
Kept no numbers, just words.
I love it. I love it. He's keeping his poker face. He's not playing his hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's it.
We'll take a look at the numbers, y'all. And then maybe we could answer some of those questions that people got or what they would do.
Yeah. So look, this was obviously a JV wholesale strategy, right? If y'all don't know what JV stands for, you can let us know, right? So the ARV I calculated at 300,000. Hang on, let me get this out the way real quick. Right, the estimated repairs was about 150,000 plus, so higher.
I think it might be higher.
Right. The wholesale price, meaning the price that was sold to the end buyer, was 35,000. The contract price with the seller was 27.5. The wholesale assignment fee ended up being 75, right? I got 63 and Fatmata did 1,200. All right. So those are the numbers. And just to talk about the numbers a little bit, that question that Jason asked, that target customer, because I looked at this and based on the repairs, because I knew it was going to be a lot of repairs and the ARV topping out, I felt that the fix and flip person was going to be a challenge. So I put a big X on the fix and flip person, right? So me putting a big X on the fix and flip person, the most important thing was really getting a person in that area that was gonna stay there to help revitalize that neighborhood. And that's one of the reasons why Fatmata was a pinnacle part of that, because the numbers, what I was looking at, just didn't work for a fix and flip person. So I know you guys are going to answer Jay's question. So I'm kind of going because I remember that was a big part of me taking this on was because the first thing you got to think about, and I'm glad he said that, was who is going to be my customer? Who am I going to try to wholesale this to? Right? Because it was like, who are you talking to? Who are you going to talk to? Right? Because a fix and flip is going to look at those numbers and be like, I'm out, bro. What are you talking about? It's going to cost me 200 grand to fix it. I can't flip it. By the time we get to 300, it's going to be no profit. So doing a little research about Cleveland, I really wanted looking for somebody who was just going to revitalize and fix the neighborhood up.
And just to piggyback off of Joe, in this particular area in Cleveland, that's what they're doing over there. I mean, it's a very distressed neighborhood in regards to buildings being multiple buildings down that street being distressed. And so now people are trying to come back in there to revitalize the community in that area. So the target customer was somebody who was going to come in there, rehab that building and hold it. So he's definitely right in regards to that particular area. That's what they're doing. So, and interestingly enough, once the building had sold, um, unknown to other people because we still marketing until everything goes through. There was a lot of people that were calling, and now they're interested because they're seeing like, oh, we need buildings, and a lot of people are looking for commercial buildings because they know that that area is being revitalized. So, yeah, just to add to that.
And again, you can follow these guys on their real investor journeys. We got Joey Styles. He's got multiple pages, not just one. And you got
I do.
Joe Styles Fit, Joe Styles Angles, Joe Styles does everything. And my friend Jason McCracken, new name coming soon, Ron Carvey, and honorary mention to our guy, Jerry Ruff. Let's go to the Q&A.
This is your time. And what I mean by that is this is your time to ask, any questions that you may have, something maybe in your brain that you were thinking about. The numbers don't make sense, or you had a question more personal about the deal and stuff like that. This is your opportunity to ask any of your questions. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to scroll back up to the top and start with any and all questions. So please, if you have questions, throw your questions in the chat. Again, this is your time to ask any questions that you have. While y'all sitting there thinking, I know we got one in the chat because Anna does not play. But she gonna ask more if y'all don't take it up. But I'm gonna set it off with the question, right? And my question is, for you, I guess I'll start with you, Joe. How did this come about with you and Fatmata, really collaborating? Is this something that you just said you opened it up to the community to be a part of, or like what happened?
All right. So in our community, we have, team members, and some of them come in to learn, to get to be around investors like us to learn, right? So I had a team member. I had another team member that was literally doing the what we call boots on the ground, right? Meaning they were out in Cleveland and they were going back and forth and showing the property. And what happened was, and then what happened was, look, we had a lot of prospective people and nothing panned out. We even had a buyer, bro. So we had a buyer, and the buyer under contract, the buyer went ghost. He called me and said, "Hey, my partner's father died, but we're gonna be good." And from there, bro, like the guy disappeared. So I literally lost a buyer. Not only did I lose the buyer, and they're not available anymore because I'm going back and forth showing all these properties and showing all these people, and nobody's closing. So he left me out there, like literally left me out there. And when we started, bro, when we started this deal with him, even Jay was there, like it was all good. It was like he's I'm with it for Cleveland. This is for you. And we're gonna we're gonna revitalize the neighborhood. I got just the perfect person. And let me tell you, yes, there was a lot of talk and there was a lot of action in the beginning, but at the end of the day, nobody did something, and over time, he left, right? And the buyer left. So I'm standing there by myself. I mean, I still had the community, right? But I'm standing in the deal solo. And then I turn here and I'm like, wait, I got a whole team. I got a whole team. And luckily, right, Fatmata was out in Cleveland. And I knew she was in Cleveland and she wanted to learn and she wanted to ride with. And so I just asked her, I said, yo, can you can you go to this building and like help me find a buyer? Like we're gonna do this together. That's how I found her. Because she was already here. Right? Big shout out to Reese. I know you came in through Reese, but she would, we have a platform where people are learning and we talk every day like this. And bro, I like finding her, I'm glad you asked that question. Finding her was the biggest part like of this deal. Cause I don't even know how I would have got it done without her, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? So
Appreciate it. And just to add to that, I needed the mentorship, I needed the guidance, and so to hop in there and to ironically it be Cleveland, which is very special to me, though I don't live there anymore. It's very special to me, and this area, ironic enough, I probably walked past this grocery store, this multi-use building multiple times and didn't know it. And to come back to it, and to be in that space where there's nothing there, it's a shell basically. I mean, it sent chills up my spine to be a part of something that as a kid I probably walked past it and drove past it multiple times. So like it was truly something special. And this deal, I'm telling you guys, this deal empowered me in so many different ways. The learning, the negotiations, like to know my story is to know that at some point I didn't have a voice, and learning negotiations allows me to have a voice and that I can step in there and do big things. So this is not just about real estate. This is for me, it was also a personal journey. And it's emotional because if I didn't do this, I don't know that I would be able to do bigger things. So, yeah, it's a lot to it.
Okay, so I'm gonna probably bring out a little bit more with this next question, and then we're gonna open up to everyone else, right? So, um, you came in the community, and I told you forgot that you came in through Reese, and shout out to our guy Big Reese.
Yeah.
He's bringing, his social media, like he's amazing with the content and stuff he brings, right? So, like, how crazy is small of a world it is that it brings you to the community, but then it brings you back to something from your roots. Like, if you would have never met Reese, you never met us, you would have never went back to that property, and it's just so weird how things happen. So, like, for you, what was it?
Now, for me, I had to challenge myself, and like this community is huge because when I wanted to give up, like I can hear Joe, I can hear Jason like in my ear, like this community, Ron, and a multitude of other people in my ear. So this community, having this team, is what helped me to really go to continue because I was gassed. I live 2 hours away, and of course I don't have a problem traveling because I know Cleveland is it's a straight shot from Columbus to Cleveland. But if I didn't, it's a mindset, and that's what we preach here in this community, the mindset. And I really had to become consistent and focused. And I had to say, listen, if you don't change your mindset, nothing changes. And so for me, that resiliency and that perseverance is what helped me to the fire, as well as this community in a not in a negative way, but accountability. And I had to move forward. So and it was tiring. It was.
Did you want to quit?
I did. I did. Um, Joe is a wonderful
you
person.
gonna leave me out there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to quit. I did. Cleveland can be rough. That area is not, it's getting better. It's not the best area. So you run into different stuff when you're going. And the other thing is that I think what is more rough is the communication with multiple people trying to buy this property. You got people who are just like, they're not really interested. They're just trying to see what they can get. The numbers are low. It's something that they thinking they're gonna do. Then you got people that come and they see it and it's not what they expected, right? And then you got people who are like, you're talking to them and talking to them, and then they drop off, and you're like, okay, what happened? And then I came into a buyer who we were almost at the table with the contract, and she bailed out. She bailed out. Like, this was a lady who grew up in the area who really wanted to revitalize this building, and she got a contractor in there and some structural issues, and she was at the very last minute, it's like, I'm not going to do it. And we took her to this property probably 4 or 5 times with her contractors to go through it. And so that was very tiring. I did an analysis for her to, as far as grant opportunities to help her. So she was really excited about that. And then that one thing with some structural issues, she bailed out. So yeah, once she did that, I was like, oh, so I had to recalibrate. I had to recalibrate, and I had to say, listen, this is what it's about. Either you're gonna do it or you're not. And so stood 10 toes down.
Nice. Thank you. Yeah, I want to get that mindset stuff out there because I know you went through some things. Someone get to the closing table, seeing the property multiple times,
Multiple,
and
yeah.
then all of a sudden they like, nah, I don't want to do it. Like, and that usually takes a lot of steam out of people. You're like, what?
Mm-hmm.
All this time,
Mm-hmm.
people
Yeah,
usually tap out or stuff like that. So I just want
absolutely.
let people again. And that's what happens with, especially with wholesaling. It can happen. And even regular fix any type of transaction, right? Someone's
Mm-hmm.
contract and everything you think is good, and all of a sudden it's not.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool.
So that's an example of our property tour. And if you want to see the rest of the Q&A, the question and answer session, what you can do is leave the word video in the comments, and I'll post that video. I'll post the rest of the Q&A because there's a lot more questions that people from the live audience actually asked, right? And even your question might be in there, so you can see, and if you're interested in seeing more of what questions people were asking and then how we answered them. Again, you come to real estate to achieve something, right? Maybe get off your feet to do real estate, so you can start breaking your back. Also, maybe leave your 9 to 5 or even build a legacy. In order to do that, you might need some assistance, and that's what we offer in our communities. Again, the community link is in the description if you want to join the community to get a little bit more than surface level information where we can dive deep and handle your personal challenges. All right, the link to the community is in the description. And our next coaching call is when? Our next coaching call is this Wednesday, right? We get on our coaching call so you can be part of that. And also, whatever this video is over here, either one would be your next training. I'll let YouTube recommend whatever of my videos, whatever video it feels that you should watch next. All right. So I'll see you on the next training.